Irontail 3. Distance to Longbeaks.
RaptorAI puts them at 19 miles out, Angel 6.
Sir, we're cutting it close. Longbeaks will pass the civilian threshold in under a minute.
I have a niece down there. Irontails, weapons hot. On my mark, light the burners.
All units, this is AWACS Warbird. You are not clear to engage. Targets are approaching the civilian threshold. Circle back and maintain patrol on Longbeak activity.
Copy. Following.
Roger, disengaging. Bloodtail, what's your status?
Going full blower. Preparing to engage.
Bloodtail, pull back immediately. This is a direct order. Bloodtail, do you copy? Bloodtail, do you copy? Bloodtail. Bloodtail.
We are the Asian News Channel. It is our responsibility to keep you updated on all matters pertaining to the Prehistoric Emergence. The Azdarkidai, initially observed to be solitary hunters at the onset of their emergence, have since been confirmed to travel in flocks, a behavior first witnessed during the Hatzergopteryx migration to the U.S. East Coast. Recent developments indicate these flocks are forming progressively larger communities. Experts attribute this shift to what is known as defensive aggregation. This theory is strongly supported by GPAC's Air Division, the Anti-Pterosaur Air Force, or A.P.A.F. Formed shortly after the pterosaur's resurgence, the A.P.A.F are tasked with dispatching jet formations to intercept migrating Azdarkidai. While GPAC has classified official data regarding prehistoric population sizes, reliable sources estimate that A.P.A.Fs neutralize an entire Azdarkidai flock every hour. Under current legislation, A.P.A.F pilots are permitted to engage targets only above unpopulated forestry or large bodies of water. However, yesterday, a single pilot intercepted a migrating flock as it approached Frankfurt, Germany. 3 Quetzalcoatlus carcasses fell into the city. One struck an unoccupied storefront, another collided with a traffic signal. A third landed on a civilian vehicle, carrying a family of 4. Due to the severity of the impact, the identities of the victims have not yet been confirmed. Public division has intensified. Some are calling for the arrest of the pilot involved, Christopher Cowfer. Others argue that allowing Azdarkidai flock to migrate into the city would amount to a much greater catastrophe. GPAC has stated that Mr. Cowfer will undergo a formal disciplinary review. For now, the A.P.A.F will remain active in our skies, with renewed efforts to reduce what they have termed human error.
Part of those renewed efforts appears to center around RaptorAI. RaptorAI is an artificial intelligence firm that claims it can predict where prehistoric creatures will migrate before they get there. The company describes it as a weather application for prehistoric activity, alerting users to nearby creatures, projected movement, and estimated arrival times. The software launched publicly this week, surpassing a world record and exceeding 10 million downloads on the first day of its release. We should note, while RaptorAI was designed to help people avoid prehistoric encounters, There have been thrill seekers using the platform to deliberately seek them out. Most recently, a crowd gathered around a sauropod herd. Even species perceived as docile can demonstrate unpredictable aggression. Perhaps the most significant development is RaptorAI's predictive technology now being integrated directly into G.P.A.F's military operations. For the first time, forces can be pre-positioned. Units can match the threat with the appropriate weaponry, a strategy some are praising as the first real attempt to technologically match the unpredictable and never-ending nature of the prehistoric emergence. Since the Palmer Ridge incident, G.P.A.F has suffered in recruitment and funding. Despite that, they have demonstrated greater efficiency through the use of artificial intelligence. A recently published report suggests prehistoric creature casualties have surged, the most noteworthy statistic being that over 1,000 theropods die each day. The commercial air travel ban has impeded on the livelihoods of many since the Asdarchidae's emergence. G.P.A.F now promises the ban will be lifted within the coming months as RaptorAI is integrated further, specifically into A.P.A.F operations. Several governments have begun subsidizing the effort. Many have newfound hope that the luxury of air travel will return soon. RaptorAI does have its limits. Their models have shown no ability to predict where formations will appear. To this day, no progress has been made towards an explanation for when or where these openings emerge.
We once again bring you an update on G.P.A.F's pesticide campaign across France. After devastating the Magnora population, G.P.A.F has set their eyes on a new invasive species, the Compsognathus. These small theropods have been identified as a growing threat to poultry, domestic pets, and young children. In a recent statement, G.P.A.F reported that the species has contributed to a 21% decline in agricultural output across affected regions, while also being linked to over 32,000 domestic pet attacks, nearly half of which were fatal. In response, G.P.A.F has bolstered their pesticide campaign. A fleet of autonomous spraying drones has now been deployed across both rural and urban environments. Utilizing RaptorAI, these drones are capable of forecasting the Compsognathus's movement patterns and release the toxin ahead of the creature's arrival. The drones will not discriminate between public and private property. Under current legislation, any structure suspected of prehistoric movement is classified as an active infestation zone, legally permitting chemical deployment without prior notice. France is at a boiling point. The country finds itself split between those who have suffered from the prehistoric emergence and view the consequence of a chemical war as a necessary sacrifice, and those who refuse to accept it. The latter have been labeled prehistoric sympathizers. Some have begun attacking drones in retaliation against G.P.A.F, leading to a wave of arrests. This cold civil war has been further inflamed by the case of Antoine Roux, a viral activist known for sheltering an arthroplura named Arthur. Arthur was euthanized by G.P.A.F. Antoine was subsequently arrested. Both actions have deeply angered a growing subsection of the French public, a subsection that has now been organized. In response to the continued arrests, a national movement has emerged under the name Arrêt Total. Beginning April 7th, participants will refuse to work, buy, or engage in economic activity for 7 days. If enough take part, the action would effectively freeze France's economy for a full week, with the stated goal of forcing government officials to Viewers, we've just received word that a $50,000 bounty is now being offered by G.P.A.F for information leading to the location of Oompi Jr. We're receiving new information as the story develops, but early reports suggest a zoonotic pathogen may have been spread from the Toronto Zoo to multiple regions around the world. Initial cases appear to involve several zookeepers who previously cared for the Oompi family. Very little is currently known about the disease. For more information, we now go live to Brendan Murray, who is at a private hospice speaking with a former Toronto Zoo employee. The patient has chosen to remain anonymous.
Hello. I'm Brendan Murray with AZN News. Thank you for speaking with us. How are you feeling? Of course. Nurse. Somebody? Thank you. Here you are. Can you describe your illness for us?
I can't.
Let's try something easier. How about we try yes or no questions? Is the disease contagious?
Yes.
Is the disease the reason for your cough? With your fingers, can you show me on screen? Let's move on from that question. Is the disease affecting your lungs? Your throat?
I'm so tired. I can never sleep. It's been 70 hours.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can surgery cure the illness?
Group ag.
Was your disease contracted by one of the Oompis?
Yes.
Was your disease responsible for Oompi's death? That was originally thought to be tuberculosis.
I signed an NDA. Paid for the hospital. Fuck it. Oompi is not Oompi Jr.'s dad. Branding died from the same thing that lives here.
Are former Toronto Zoo visitors at risk?
They had so many people travel. All they did was create the staging grounds.
We appreciate you sharing so much. I know how difficult it is. If I may ask one more question.
The cold water, it helps. Ask.
Why is there a bounty on Oompi Jr.?
He's special.
All his body secretes something. I'm not letting those bastards profit off the remedy. And I set him free.
I'm sorry. Just, is your condition... is the disease fatal?